Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Waters fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to
Boah.
Now, listen, folks. This is a Memorial Day special. It's not going to be near as long. We're not going to do an actual episode, but there's one person in King of the Hill world that was definitely in the service, and he's nuts, and we thought we would give him his due. So today is in honor of Cotton Hill.
I'll just do a little rundown of Memorial Day for those of our fans who might not be aware of what Memorial Day is. It's actually meant to honor and mourn those who died while serving the U.S. Armed Forces, not generally for people who there's other days for military members who are living or who died outside of the scope of battle, but we're gonna do Cotton Hill. He has an obituary that was released on Fox's website back in the day when King of the Hill was still airing, because they kill him off eventually.
You said what, 2007?
Yeah, I think that's when it was. Because they kill him off eventually. He eventually dies in
dies on
Shins of the Father. I think.
Well, he dies.
No, that's his debut.
He dies on a hibachi grill.
Yeah, he dies
Basically.
on a hibachi grill.
I mean, he dies in the hospital, but still.
Yeah.
The hibachi grill is what got him. Hey, while you're looking that up, can I give a little history of cotton?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. No one knows exactly how old cotton is. Scientists searching caves in Mexico found bits of cotton balls and pieces of cotton cloth that proved to be at least 7,000 years. Oh. I'm on the National Cotton Council website. Sorry, that's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Sorry about that.
All right, so this is his obituary here. Let me pull it up.
Had his shins blowed off by Japan Man's machine gun.
This was released on the television show's official website shortly before they debuted the episode back in 2000.
Yeah.
Two aught and aught.
Ought not.
Ought not back then. All right, so
I bet he says ought. I bet
probably.
he said ought.
Cotton Hill, age unknown, World War II veteran, died Sunday in a Texas VA hospital. Hill suffered from several injuries, ranging from 4 rusty bullets lodged in his heart from his military service, a broken hip, and torn ligaments in his ankle knees, to an infection in his esophagus and severe burns caused by a freak shrimp accident that occurred earlier this week at Tokiyaki's Japanese restaurant.
Freak shrimp.
Hill leaves behind sons Hank Hill and GH, short for Good Hank, daughter-in-law Peggy Hill, grandson Bobby Hill, ex-wife Tilly, second wife Dee Dee, first love and former Japanese lover Michiko, an illegitimate Japanese son Junichiro, and nephew Dusty Hill of ZZ Top.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the news article that I got this from the San Francisco Independent 48 Hills, whatever this the blog site is, they aggregated that from that website, and then they had a little piece to add.
That was demonetized a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure. Texas redneck patrician, misogynist gun lover, American hero, and war amputee.
War
Cotton
amputee.
proved to be one of the most controversial and lovable television characters since the inimitable Archie Bunker. Representing the best and worst qualities of the greatest generation, its narrow-mindedness, prejudice, simplicities, as well as its patriotism, courage, and fraternity. Hill was a surrogate grandfather to many of us who had lost our own so many years ago. As a Texan and an obsessive viewer of the series from the beginning, I was startled by the news. Sundays have now lost a bit more of their juvenile innocence. That was written by a feller that Eric Morse, wherever you're at. Cheers, bud. That was good.
Cotton Lindell Hill is a fictional character in the Fox animated series King of the Hill, voiced by Toby Huss, the great Toby Huss. He was the father of Hank Hill, G.H., Junichiro, and according to him, at least 270 possible others.
It's a lot.
I tell you what, I was watching this thing called Sperm World last night.
That sounds interesting.
It's about
Was it porn?
No, it's about sperm banks and these guys who donate their sperm for free. So there's all these groups on Facebook, and they get in there and they like, hey, I got sperm, and then people say, hey, can I have some? And then they meet up some clandestine place, and he hands it to them in a syringe. It is the weirdest thing. There's this one guy.
Sounds pretty crazy. Black market sperm.
It is, and it is this one guy that's like.
Is that legal? Do you have to be licensed to sell sperm?
See, that's what I kept questioning. Also, like, do you have to? But anyway, we'll get into that later. At least 270 possible others. He was a World War II veteran who had his shins blowed off by a Japan man's machine gun. That's in quotes. I did not say that. In combat, and later had his feet attached to his knees as a result. This made him a foot shorter than his relatives, which he looks a lot shorter than just a foot.
Yeah, definitely.
According to Hank, Cotton was 6'4" with his shins and 5'0" without them. Despite his disability, he eventually reached the rank of colonel in the Texas State Defense Forces and was addressed as such by his friend. Cotton Hill died in the 12th season of King of the Hill at the age of 80 after suffering severe burns from slipping on a flat-top grill.
Yeah. Well,
It says he was born around 1927.
which would be about right for somebody who was in World War II. My grandmother was born in 1928, and she was 12 in 1939 when the war started, which he might put him in a little earlier than that because the United States didn't get into the war until 1941. So 1927 to 41. Yeah, I mean, he might have been old enough to be a young man in the.
He would be
World War II.
97 today.
Yeah, my grandma's still alive. She's in her 90s. She's the only person I know that's still alive that remembers being bombed by Nazis.
Really?
Yeah, she lived in.
Was it a war or just Nazis?
World War II? Well, I mean, it was
just some Nazis.
It was some Nazis in the area. Yeah.
Okay, so here's one thing that. By the way, he often claimed to kill 50 men.
It killed 50 men.
50.
That's for sure.
And then,
mostly in the Pacific Theater. So there was a lot of debate in that one episode about whether he was actually in the
Nazis
in the Atlantic Theater. I guess that's what they called it, the Atlantic Theater, the European Theater. Sorry.
So this answers a little bit of it. This is a quote from Cotton Hill.
Yeah.
Okay, about how he got in or how he lost his shins during World War II. I was just 14, just a little older than Bobby, but I knew Uncle Sam needed me, so I lied and signed up. We had beat the Nazis in Italy, and they shipped me to the Pacific Theater. A Tojo torpedo sent our troop ship to the bottom. I could only save 3 of my buddies, Fatty, Stinky, and Brooklyn. They were kind of like you fellas. He's saying that to Bill, Dill, and Boomhauer.
Yeah.
Only one of them was from Brooklyn. I mean, it's
well, you know, I
damn
think
good.
Go ahead.
Out of the sun came a Tojo Zero and put 50 bullets in my back. Everything's 50.
Yeah, 50.
The blood attracted sharks. I had to give them Fatty. Then things took a turn for the worse. I made it to an island, but it was full of Tojos. They were spitting on the U.S. flag, so I rushed them, but it was a trap. They opened fire and blew my shins off. Last thing I remember, I beat them all to death with a big piece of Fatty. I woke up in a field hospital, and they were sewing my feet to my knees. So there you go.
Sewing his feet to his knees. Yeah. there
But
you go.
doesn't Fatty still exist?
Well, no. Remember, there was two fatties.
Maybe there was two.
There was two
fatties.
fatties. I think that was one of the things in the show. There was two fatties.
like-
Something they mentioned.
I was beating them to death with a piece of fatty.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. But let's put all that aside. For real, thank you to all of our fallen service members. We really do appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without you. And any of you folks that are still in the service. I know that's not what this day is necessarily for, but I want to say thank you to you as well. You folks that have been in the service and gotten out, thank you again for serving. It's something that we couldn't do. And I think that's what Memorial Day is really about, and just taking a solemn time to look back and think about those folks that gave the ultimate price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. This one's for you. I am currently pouring some coffee out on the ground for Cotton. He's in heaven watching us all. Do you think he got his shins back in heaven?
Did he get his shins back in heaven?
Yeah.
I like to think that he's somewhere right now, having Japanese tea, sitting down in a field of Japanese cherry blossoms, having tea with the 50 men that he killed.
I guess that's the ultimate question: is he up or down?
I think he went to heaven.
You do?
I mean, I think he always did what he felt was right.
Well, so
whether
did
it was
Hitler.
wrong or not.
He did what he thought was right.
He was a Christian. By Christian ideology, he's in heaven.
Sure.
I mean, you were, if you let Jesus into your heart and through all of that, that's your ticket.
Yeah.
It's your big ticket. Just
Ticket to
accepting
ride.
him.
You got it. But you think he's sitting with the 50 men?
Yeah, I think it's like a healing thing. I
Hey,
think
remember when I killed you?
I think when he gets up there, like he's so all of the pain and everything that he was brought by, because there's no telling how he was raised. He's only a product of his raising, so he only did what he thought was right.
We ever saw that, did we?
No, you don't. And I feel like that even though he was kind of hard on Hank and stuff like that, I feel like he did understand that he had to be a little different with his grandson and stuff like that. I feel like he knows that his hard ass didn't really help, or all that stuff doesn't really do anything at all, but cause trauma and depression.
He was great with Bobby.
Yeah, no, he was really good with Bobby, and he was good with GH too.
Yeah.
He even tried to work. He tried to change himself.
He did.
Whether he succeeded or not,
Right.
it's about the try.
He did know.
It's always
what
about
he was
the
trying
try.
to do. Yeah.
It's always about the try. As long as you're trying, it's not about whether you fail or succeed.
That's
if
true.
you're not trying, you can't succeed, and you can't fail if you don't try either. So you got to try.
Can't win if you don't play.
Yeah, you got to try.
That's it.
So
In the immortal words of the Texas State Lottery.
and rest in peace to Lucky Kleinschmidt. He didn't serve, but he thought about it once.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us again. Hope you're having a great Memorial Day. Eat a hot dog. Think about those who have passed, and be grateful. Be grateful for what you got. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's a somber Wimatanya.
Wimatanya, indeed.
Indeed.
They gave it 1 star. So.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.